The Consul President, the magnificent Olexian leader Zorath, began the meeting. His rainbow-colored, crystalline body dazzled in the center of the chamber. Under the crystal dome, Zorath's voice echoed and filled the entire room. "Esteemed Consul members," he said, his voice resonating like a crystal chime. "We have gathered to discuss the threat that humanity poses to our universe. They are a species that brings war and destruction. Their ability to turn anything into a weapon presents a great danger to our peaceful galaxy." The Valtorian representative Lyra, distinguished by her delicate and slender form, spoke next. "We Valtorians have lived in tranquility in the depths of the universe. It is unacceptable for humans to disrupt this peace," she said, her transparent skin shimmering slightly in the light. The Valtorian representative Grox pounded the table with a fist as he began to speak. "We Valtorians are a warrior race. However, the fact that humans can turn anything into a weapon poses a threat even to us. We must stop them," he said, his powerful voice reverberating against the walls of the chamber. The Flinter representative Arya floated gracefully, her wings fluttering. "We Flintars choose to live in harmony with nature. However, when humans come to our planets, they even turn nature into a weapon. This is unacceptable," she said, her iridescent scales dancing in the light. Different voices rose from every corner of the Consul, each recounting the dangers their respective planets had faced. On one side, the long and slender Valtorians, on the other, the short and broad Valtorians, all shared the same concern. Zorath used his crystalline voice to quiet the chamber once more. "As the Galactic Council, it is our duty to educate humans and ensure they use their abilities for peace. Destroying them is not a solution. Guiding them onto the right path is our responsibility," he said. The Valtorian representative Lyra looked at Zorath attentively. "If we can educate them, perhaps they can become a peaceful part of our galaxy. But this is a great risk," she said. Grox, with a stern expression, said, "How will we manage them? I believe humans are inherently warriors. Controlling them might be impossible," he said. Arya, gently fluttering her delicate wings, added, "Perhaps we can find a new way to understand and properly direct their abilities. However, we must be cautious during this process," she said. A deep silence settled over the Consul chamber. Each representative felt the weight of Zorath's words and debated humanity's future. The galactic map hanging from the ceiling shimmered anxiously among the stars and planets. The outcome of this historic meeting would determine the future of the galaxy. Whether humanity would be able to live in peace depended on the Consul's decision. Valtorian representative Grox stood up, drawing all eyes to him with his massive build. Opening his muscular arms wide, he began to speak in his powerful voice. "When humans came to our planet, they turned even a simple rock into a deadly weapon," he said, his eyes flashing with anger. "How can we deal with them? How can we stop such a creative and dangerous species?" His words echoed through the crystal walls of the chamber. For a moment, it felt as though a weight had settled over everyone's hearts. After Grox's statements, murmurs began to rise from various parts of the chamber. Valtorian representative Lyra, touching the table with her delicate fingers, spoke in a calm and contemplative tone. "Humans are indeed creative and dangerous. However, it may be within our power to control their creativity," she said. Flinter representative Arya, fluttering her delicate wings and her iridescent scales dancing with the light, added, "They have harmed our nature. They even used plants as weapons. However, if we can direct their abilities towards peace, we might find a solution," she said. Zorath, gliding with his crystalline body, tried to calm everyone. "Esteemed Consul members, Grox's concerns are valid. Human abilities present a significant threat. However, rather than destroying them, guiding them towards peace might be a more long-term and sustainable solution," he said. Grox, stepping forward with his powerful frame, said, "We Valtorians are skilled in battle, but their creative nature is very different from the wars we are accustomed to. How can we train them? How can we control them?" he asked. Arya, with a slight smile, responded, "Perhaps understanding their culture and showing them the value of peace could be the first step," she said. Valtorian representative Lyra, gazing deeply into Zorath's eyes, said, "This is a great risk, but if we succeed, it would be a significant gain for our galaxy. If we can make humans part of the peace, we could harness their abilities for the benefit of the universe," she said. Once again, a deep silence fell over the Consul chamber. Each representative weighed Zorath and the others' words, contemplating how the decisions made would shape the galaxy's future. The light from the stars shimmered across the crystal dome, and representatives from all corners of the galaxy prepared for a long and challenging debate on how to handle humanity and achieve peace. Flinter Representative Arya floated gracefully in the zero-gravity environment, her colorful scales shimmering under the chamber's lights as she performed a mesmerizing dance. When all eyes turned to her, her delicate voice echoed beneath the crystal dome. "On our planet, humans turned even plants into weapons," she said, her voice tinged with a mix of tremor and sorrow. "We wish to live peacefully, but achieving peace with humans seems unlikely," she said. From the other side of the chamber, Olexian leader Zorath watched Arya attentively. "Arya, could their creative nature be turned to our advantage? Perhaps by training them, we can channel their abilities towards peace," he said. Grox replied firmly, "Their creative nature makes them even more dangerous. They can turn a flower into a deadly trap. This is a power that is difficult to control," he said. Valtorian Representative Lyra spoke calmly and gracefully. "The fact that humans are so creative and dangerous might be driven by their survival instincts. Perhaps by training them, we can guide these instincts towards peaceful purposes," she said. Arya, fluttering her wings lightly, said, "We Flintars are part of nature. Seeing how humans have turned nature into a weapon deeply wounds us. However, maybe they can learn to live in harmony with nature," she said. Zorath, gliding in the center of the chamber, said, "That is true. Training humans and ensuring they follow a peaceful path will be a long and difficult process. However, if we succeed, it will be a significant step for the future of our galaxy," he said. Grox, with a stern expression, said, "Training them will be challenging. We must not forget that they are inherently warriors. We need to be cautious during this process," he said. Lyra, thoughtfully, said, "Perhaps we can start by showing them how delicate and valuable our galaxy is. Their creative nature could hold great potential for peaceful purposes," she said. At that moment, the grand doors of the Consul chamber slowly opened. As the doors parted, a brilliant light flooded into the high-ceilinged room, and within this light, a human figure emerged. David, the human representative, approached the Consul members with confident strides. Under the crystal dome, all eyes were now on him. David, with his upright posture and eyes filled with determination, addressed the Consul members. "Esteemed Consul members," he began, his voice resonating throughout the hall. "We humans wish to live in peace with you. Yes, we have the ability to turn everything into a weapon, but we intend to use this ability only for defense. If you work with us, we can together preserve the peace of the universe," he said. Grox, the powerful Valtorian representative, looked at David with a skeptical expression. "Humans have spoken like this before. Yet they only brought destruction afterward. Why should we trust you?" he asked. David took a deep breath before responding. "I understand that gaining your trust won't be easy. However, we have learned from our past mistakes. We now wish to move forward peacefully. We want to prove that we can use our abilities for peace," he said. Arya, fluttering her iridescent wings slightly, said, "If you truly seek peace, can you use these abilities to protect nature? We Flintars are part of nature, and we do not want to see it harmed," she said. David, with sincerity, replied, "Of course. Protecting nature and living in harmony with it is also our goal. We can assist you in this matter," he said. Zorath, gliding with his crystalline body, approached David. "What you are saying carries a great responsibility, David. If you wish to work with us, are you ready to take on this responsibility?" he asked. David looked into Zorath's eyes and said, "Yes, I am ready. I want to show that humans can change and work for peace. If you give us a chance, we can accomplish great things together," he said. Valtorian Representative Lyra, gazing at David with her deep blue eyes, asked, "Is it really possible for humans to use their abilities for peace?" "This requires a significant change," she said. A moment of silence fell over the Consul chamber. Each representative weighed Arya's words and the thoughts of the others. The light from the stars shimmered across the crystal dome as representatives from all corners of the galaxy pondered how to deal with humanity and achieve peace. The outcome of this historic meeting would determine the future of the galaxy. Whether humans would live in peace or not depended on the Consul's decision. As David's words hung in the air, the Consul members glanced at each other. Grox was the first to speak. "Humanity's past weakens our faith in a peaceful future," he said, with a stern and resolute expression. "We cannot trust them. Arya, fluttering her wings lightly, said, "The damage to our nature shows how dangerous they can be. Even if their intentions for peace are sincere, we cannot take this risk," she said. Zorath, gliding towards David with his crystalline body, said, "David, what you say is hopeful. However, our past experiences make it difficult to trust humans. Therefore, we cannot accept your offer," he said, his voice as clear and firm as crystal. David, with deep disappointment, left the consul chamber. Despite the rejection of their peace offer, the humans did not lose hope. Believing that one day they would earn the trust of the universe, they continued their efforts in a distant corner of the galaxy. Months later, the Neriths, who were members of the Consul, faced a formidable power threatening the entire galaxy. The skies over the Nerith planet were covered with the dark shadows of enemy ships. Once resplendent with purple and blue hues, the Nerith planet was now gripped by a dark menace. As the Neriths desperately tried to defend themselves, laser beams from the enemy ships rained down upon the planet's surface. In the strategy room, Nerith leader Zoltar held a frantic meeting. Holographic maps displayed how close the enemy forces were. "If they continue at this rate, they will breach our planet's defenses within hours," he said, his voice trembling with anxiety. General Kale, with a stern and resolute expression, said, "Our warriors are fighting bravely, but the enemy is too powerful. Our weapons are not sufficient." Scientist Mira, with desperation in her eyes, said, "The enemy's technology far surpasses ours. Even our energy shields can't stop them." As the Nerith's despair grew, a moment of silence fell in the strategy room. While Zoltar desperately searched for a solution, a message arrived suddenly. The figure that appeared on the holographic screen was David. "Neriths, we are coming to help." "Hold on," he said, his voice filled with determination. At that moment, the sky sparkled like a night full of stars. Under the apocalyptic atmosphere, human ships were rapidly entering the atmosphere of the Nerith planet. The massive ships were covered in brilliant blue and green energies, creating a hopeful glow against the planet's dark sky. As the human forces led by David landed on the planet's surface, panic and chaos reigned in the battlefield. The atmosphere of the Nerith planet was filled with energetic explosions that slowed and redirected the enemy's attacks. The Nerith defense systems struggled to counter the enemy ship's intense laser fire, but their efforts fell short. David, on the bridge of the command ship, carefully monitored the holographic screens. The screens displayed the enemy's forces and attack points. The engineer next to him, Lyra, quickly reviewed the data on her tablet. "Energy shields are ready. We can neutralize the enemy's laser beams," she said, her excitement evident. David gave instructions to his team from the command bridge. "Activate the targeting systems. Direct the energy shields to the planet's surface." "Everything must go smoothly," he said, his voice filled with determination. The rapidly moving human ships began to create a protective energy shield around the planet. As the energy barriers spread across the sky, they shimmered like a magnificent aurora of purple and blue lights. The enemy's laser beams were neutralized upon hitting the barrier, explosions and sparks illuminating the night. Seeing the effects of the energy barriers from David's ships, Nerith leader Zoltar expressed his astonishment with his eyes. He contacted David through the holographic communication device. "David, the impact of this technology is incredible. The barriers have strengthened our planet's defenses," he said, with a voice renewed with hope. David responded to Zoltar, "The barriers are designed to neutralize the enemy's firepower. We will fully support the Nerith's defense now," he said. On the battlefield, the planet's surface was covered with chaos and fire. The intense laser fire from the enemy ships illuminated the sky of the Nerith planet with dazzling lights. The energy barriers created blue and purple rings around the planet, rendering the enemy's powerful weapons ineffective. Nerith warriors, bolstered by the confidence given by the energetic shields, fought bravely against the enemy ships. Humans, using their advanced technology, provided strategic support to the Nerith warriors. David, on the bridge of the command ship, closely monitored the events on the screens. As the energy barriers neutralized each enemy laser, David's vocal commands directed the operations. "Increase the energy flow. We need to weaken the enemy's heavy weapons," David commanded his team in the command center, his voice resolute. Engineer Lyra, standing beside him, said, "Energy flow has been increased. The barriers are now more resistant to the enemy's attacks," she said, quickly analyzing the data on the screen. The Nerith warriors, gathered behind the energetic shields, launched a relentless assault on their targets. General Kale, witnessing the effects of the energetic shields on the battlefield, told the Nerith commanders beside him, "The enemy's firepower is rapidly weakening. Take advantage of this opportunity and launch an attack," he said, in an encouraging tone. With the protection provided by the energetic barriers, the Nerith warriors responded with intense laser fire against the enemy ships. Some of the enemy ships exploded upon colliding with the barriers, while others sustained heavy damage. As the battle progressed, the enemy's resistance began to break down rapidly. David, monitoring the screens in the command center, issued instructions for strategic maneuvers. "Give the order to retreat. Encircle the enemy ships and improve our defensive lines," David said, aiming to control the chaos. Following David's orders, the Nerith warriors began to surround and push back the enemy ships. The enemy's laser fire weakened around the energy barriers, and the explosions on the surface of the Nerith planet decreased. Soon, the enemy ships began to withdraw. General Kale turned to a Nerith commander and said, "Thanks to the humans, we were able to protect our planet. This victory is proof of our friendship and cooperation," his eyes reflecting gratitude. As the battle ended, Nerith leader Zoltar contacted David through holographic communication. "You saved our planet. Thanks to your energy barriers and strategy, we drove the enemy back. We are grateful to you and your team," he said, his voice filled with emotion. David replied to Zoltar, "We are here only for cooperation and peace. The battle was a necessary struggle, but together we combined our forces to protect this galaxy," he said, with a humble expression. With the end of the battle, silence prevailed over the planet. Humans and Neriths celebrated their joint victory. The sky was illuminated by the glow of the energetic barriers, marking the foundation of a new friendship between the two races. This historic moment heralded the beginning of a new era of peace and cooperation that would resonate throughout the galaxy. After the battle, the surface of the Nerith planet had calmed. The remnants left by the enemy ships had left black marks on the planet's surface. However, the night sky was lit up by the colorful aurora created by the human energy barriers. Now, in a large plaza at the center of the planet, Nerith leader Zoltar and David stood together. Under the shimmering aurora lights in the sky, Zoltar approached David. The crystal-like skin of the Nerith leader gleamed with the light of victory. Zoltar approached David, took a deep breath, and began to speak. "Without you, our planet might have been lost. Thanks to the bravery and technology of the humans, we survived," he said, his voice filled with gratitude and emotion. David, bowing his head to Zoltar, responded with a modest expression. "We only want to live in peace and cooperation. By using our technology for defense purposes, we aim to protect the peace of the universe," he said sincerely. Following David's words, Zoltar sent a message to the Consul members. The light from the holographic screens reflected Zoltar's seriousness and determination. "Esteemed Consul members," he said, "the humans fought not only with their technology but also with their hearts. They fought only for peace and cooperation. Now, we must accept this courageous race and stand by their side," he said. The Consul members listened carefully to Zoltar's words. Grox, with the long and slender body of the Valtorians, listened silently, while Aria's colorful scales created a shimmering reflection of the battle's fatigue. Zorath, with his crystal-like body, was deep in thought. Lyra, noting the message on her tablet, awaited the Consul members' decision. As Zoltar awaited the Consul members' response, he approached David and said, "This moment is a crucial turning point for the future of the galaxy. The humans are ready to stand by us and protect peace. With their help, we will be stronger together," he said with confidence. David shook Zoltar's hand and said, "Together, we can protect peace and security. Humans will always stand by you as part of this galaxy," he said. As the Consul members evaluated Zoltar's words, an expression of approval appeared in their eyes. Grox finally said, "The bravery and creativity of the humans impressed us. We accept them as Consul members. In the future, we will be stronger together." Aria, gracefully flapping her wings, said, "We are starting a new era of peace and cooperation. As humans and Neriths, we will work together for a brighter future." Following the Consul's approval, David and Zoltar stood together in the plaza where the people had gathered, shaking hands as a symbol of victory and new friendship. The sky was illuminated with the glow of the energy barriers and the promise of galactic peace. This historic moment marked the beginning of a new era of peace and cooperation that would resonate throughout the galaxy.